Hello friend, welcome back. In our previous video here we have created one of the method as a monthly salary get, and also we have created as a monthly salary view, right? So into the view page I want to actually search by this attendance. So if you click as any search by the attendance date, and if you click the search, it will be get all that our employee on here. So if you want to do that work, as I told you, that will be just like our student, that means in your student management into the registration fee. So into the registration fee we did the same thing. So now I will apply this same things for our employee monthly salary. Okay, so here I have also created one of the method into the monthly salary view page, that is our route as employee monthly salary get. I have created this one in our web. So now into the monthly salary controller I have created as a monthly salary get method. So that is our get method, right? So first of all I want to actually take all the things from our that is a registration fee, and that is a registration fee view, right? So we did the same things. Now we will apply it for our employee monthly salary. That means that is our employee monthly salary, right? So if you want to do that work, I have did this work into the controller. If you go to that in our controller backend, into the student controller here, that is our monthly fee, and then that is our registration fee controller. So if you go to that registration fee controller, and with the registration fee controller here, you can see that is will be the just like that same. Here I have already discussed about every part with you. So that is our TD source. So in our view page, monthly salary view page, I want to get this data, and our all the TH source will be visible on here. TD source will be visible, right? So right now I want to do from our student and registration fee controller here, that is our registration class data. So now I want to copy everything. Okay, I copy everything from to this area. So that is our, after that there is a return response JSON. You can see there is the same. I copy everything, and then we don't need this. I close it, and now in our monthly salary controller here I simply paste it. Okay, so here better I want to put some of the note for you. That will be the AND method. Okay, that will be the AND method. Okay, so that is our last one, and that is our total one. So now we will customize it as per our demand. So that will be very easy process. I have already discussed about everything one by one with you. So before that was the year ID and the class ID, right? Right now we don't need this. I close it, and here our field name, if you go to our view, into the view right now there is only one field, and I name it as a date, right? So here we have to get this requested data. So that will be I just make it as a one of the variable as a date. Okay, I name it as a date, and date will be as a date format. You can also use, I use the date format. Date format will be with the year and the month. Okay, I put two of this, then it will be better, rather than you can also use it as a year, month, or the date, because it will be get this data by this year rather than it will be get this data by the month. Okay, and after that I make it as a star to time. Okay, star to time, and in the star to time area we have to pass our request field name. Our request field name here, our request field name as a this one, right? That is our date. So now I copy it, so that will be as a requested field name. Perfect. And after that that is our if condition. If this year ID not null, so right now only one will be needed. Before that was actually the two field. Right now I remove it, so that will be obviously our this date, right? So that will be our this date, and that will be as a this date, and also the date, right? So I just simply replace it, and now that is for our date. And after that there is all student, assign student. So right now I don't want to get this data from our student. I right now want to get this data from our employee attendance. Okay, so make that sure you load that employee attendance. So here better I want to load it. I copy it, and first of all also here we need this table, because from to this table I want to get this data. So I have also created this model. If you go to that model, that is our employee attendance, right? So now I open it. So that is will be as an employee attendance, and into the employee attendance I have also created one of the relationship with our user table, that is employee ID and the ID, and that is our method name, right? So with this method we can actually access our user table. So first of all I want to support this. That means that it will be our employee attendance. So I paste it on here. Okay, so now I want to update this functionality. That will be Here I want to do that will be the same. I want to add that employee attendance, and I take one of the another variable. I name it as a data. Okay, I name it as a data variable. So now with our employee attendance, I want to if you go to our employee attendance table, into the employee attendance, there have some of the field I have created as employee ID, right? Employee ID, date, and the attendance status. So first of all, I want to get this user data by this employee ID. So for the reasons, I want to add one of the condition. I want to add first of all as a select condition. Okay, select which one? Select our employee ID, employee underscore ID. Okay, I want to get it, and also I want to get this as a group by data. Before I have also get this as a group by data. So now I make it as a group and then by. Okay, I want to take it as a group by data, and group by will be with our same. I want to group by with our this employee ID. Okay, so now I want to make it as a same as a group by employee ID. And also here we have to get that our user, so that is our width. Okay, so now I want to also use that width, so that is actually the width. Okay, so make that sure that is actually one same line. Here we don't need to add any space. So that is our width, and then width I have also created one of the relation. I have created that relation name. If you go to our employee attendance, in the employee attendance I have created that relation with our user table with the user method, right? So now we can actually use it. So right now I close it, and here I name it as our this user, where will be our this where. Okay, and then I get this data. Perfect. So that's all. So that is our employee attendance. It will be get this selected employee data. It will be get as a group by all that employee ID, and here if you want to get it, so here I also pass that as a width, because now we can actually access our all that user field data. Okay. So now I take the things with this variable as a data variable, where the same, that will be the same, and now that is a serial number, ID number. So now I want to change it. Here I want to display that serial number. I want to display that employee name, employee, and the name, right? So I name it as a name. So that will be the employee name. So now we can actually visible that employee name, because of all I also create one of the relation with this user, that means the user table. So now I name it as a employee name. I name it another field as a basic salary. Okay, the basic salary. So that will be the basic salary, and also I take another one as a salary this month. Salary this month. Okay, that will be the salary this month. And then I want to add that action. So right now we don't need this. I remove it. I remove rest of this field. Only here I want to visible that employee name, basic salary, that means this employee basic salary, salary this month, and then action. Perfect. And then we have to forage this data from our employee attendance. So I get this data with this data. So now that will be as a data, right? So with this data key as a v, or rather than if you want to change any new one, you can use it. So better I want to use it as a attend. Okay, I name this data as a attend. So now with this attend, I want to create here I want to take another variable and name it as a total attendance, because here we have to actually calculate. So that will be, I take one of the variable as a total attendance. Okay, so now with our same model, so with our employee attendance, into the employee attendance, I want to first of all make it as a width, because here we have to get this data. So now I want to make it as a width. Okay, so with this relationship, our relationship method name I have already declared as a user, right? So now that will be obviously as a user. So that will be as a user. Okay, so here that is actually different. Better I close it. Okay, close it. So the employee attendance, I first of all add that our with relationship with our user table, that is our method as a user. And after that I want to add that our same where to where condition. That means where will be our same where, that means this variable. Okay, that means this variable data. So now I simply pass it on here, and after that I want to put another where condition, I put another where condition, and this condition will be our employee ID. Okay, so if you go to our this employee ID will be our requested user employee ID, right? So now I want to add that as an employee, and with this employee ID I want to access our user table employee ID. So now we get this specific data, so that is our attendance. So now with this attendance, okay, so with this attendance I want to access our this field as employee ID. Okay, and then I want to get this data. So I simply get this data. Perfect. So now I want to add another one. So here everything will be very clear to you step by step. I take another variable for the absent count. I want to actually count that all that absent. So if this employee actually absent, then that will be minus from to the main salary. That means from to the basic salary, and that will be one of the total salary. Okay, so now I want to take another variable as a absent. Okay, absent count. So that will be the absent count, one of the variable, and I want to add that count function, and with this count function I want to access where, so that is our total attendance, right? So here from to this position I get that our total attendance for this employee, and after that with this total, that means with this total attendance where I just put on the condition where our field name, that means if you go to our database, in the database you can see that is actually the field name. So into this field area which will be as a absent, okay, that is the things I want to count. Okay, so that is our field name as a attend status, and I want to get that as a total count for employee as a absent. So now I want to get this data. Okay, so that is our field name. So I put that field name as a attend. Okay, attend underscore and then status. Make that sure spelling is correct. So attend underscore status, right? So that is attend underscore status. So this attend status I want to get that which data I want to get that which things as a value will be as a absent. Okay, so I just simply add that as a absent. That means this value where actually it will be as a absent, this data I want to count. Okay, so perfect. So now I simply add it, and I take that absent all the data into this variable as a absent count. And now that is the same, there is a color, I name it as a success, and there is a TD source. TD source will be, first of all, I name it as a serial number, that is actually our serial number, then the employee name. So if you want to access this employee name right now, what exactly you have to do, I have already created that with user. So that means with this user I want to display that name, our database user field name as a name, right? So now I name it as a name. Perfect. And then the basic salary also in our user table. If you go to our user table, maybe that is actually the salary, as I remember. If you go to our user table and into the user table, that is our field name for the salary. That is actually the salary, you can see. So that will be our basic, that main salary. So now I want to take it. So that means with this user I want to access our user table field name as a salary. Okay, so that will be as a salary. Perfect. So right now after that, the basic salary here we have to calculate it, that basic salary, and then also with this basic salary we have to actually get that our this month salary. That means it should be reduce all that absent amount, and then it should be get our main basic salary. So right now we don't need this, better I remove every field from here. Okay, I remove it. So that is our user salary, and after that I take one of the variable, I name it as a salary. Okay, I name it as a salary. So this salary will be what? This salary will be same in our user table, into the user table which field is as a salary, so that will be our main salary. Okay, so now I take these things with this variable, and also better I want to make it as a float. Okay, I make it as a float, and float our if you want to access it, we have to access it with this attend, because right now we are into the for loop, that means this for each loop. So with this attends I want to access our user, and then into the user table there is another field as a salary, right? So that will be as a this salary. So this salary amount will be our this salary. So I take the things with this variable, and now we have to get that our per day salary, because with this per day salary I want to actually remove that absent. Okay, so better I take another variable as a salary per day. So this type of one of the variable I want to take, and also I want to make it as a float. So I make it as a float, and with this float, that will be our this salary. Okay, with this salary, and I want to divide it with the 30 days. Okay, so now that will be as a 30 days. Perfect. So automatically with our main salary, if you go, I think you can well understand about it. It's pretty much simple things. That is a salary for this employee, like salary as a 6,000. Okay, so now I actually divided that this main salary. So this main salary divided by the 30. Okay, that means the 30 days. And then I want to find out that total salary minus. That means if this employee has any absent, then automatically it should be minus. So I make it one of the variable name as a total. Okay, total salary. Okay, so total salary minus. So this type of one of the variable, I just simply take it, and then that will be calculated. I use that calculated with the float. Okay, float, and float will be what? Float will be our total absent. So here I take that as a absent, all that count, right? So our count I want to first of all take with this count, that will be as a multiple. Okay, and that means that it will be as a multiple. So with this multiple, our multiple will be same with this float. And then our per day, actually that per day, that means it's divided by the 30. So that will be this variable. Okay, so now I simply add it. I hope, friend, it's very much easy to you right now. And now I want to find out our total salary. Okay, that means the total salary. So total salary will be what? Total salary will be, it will be minus, right? It will be minus our this salary. So that will be minus our this salary and minus to our minimum salary. Okay, so that means the minus salary. So that is our absent salary. So that will be our this salary. Perfect. So that's all you have to do. Okay, friend. So now that is actually the main calculation. I get that salary, main salary, and then I get divided with the 30. That means that will be as a per day salary, and then it should be minus our total salary. That means here I want to count it, how much absent for this employee. So I multiple with this, and after that I find out that total salary will be obviously our main minus that means the main salary, and that will be minus our this salary. Okay, so here it should be minus, and then that will be our total salary. Perfect. And after that I want to visible it in our TD source, into the TD source. That is a final. That means that will be actually our main salary, that is salary this month. Salary this month will be our this, that means the total salary. I copy it. Okay, that will be total salary. I copy it, and that will be our total salary, right? So that's all we have to do. And after that, that is our this salary, and then the action. And for the action button here, I want to load one of the pay slip. Okay, so that will be just like that same. And there is a color, there is a pay slip. I name that same as a pay slip, and target I also make it as a blank. That means it should be open with the new tab. And then also we have to pass one of the route. So now I want to create this route. So that will be the pay slip route. Okay, so now better I want to name it as a here I name it as a employee monthly salary, employee monthly salary. Okay, employee monthly salary pay slip. So this type of one of the route we have to create. And here I only want to pass that employee ID. Okay, and that means that is our employee ID. I want to pass that employee ID. So right now that is our ID. Before I have passed that as a class ID and the student ID, right? So right now we don't need this. Better I close it. Okay, I close everything from to this position, and that is our pay slip. And after that pay slip I want to pass our ID. That means our employee ID. So if you want to pass this employee ID, so here we get all the data. Right now we are already into the for each loop. Into the for each, I name it with this attendance. So now with this attendance, okay, so now with this attendance I want to access our employee ID. That will be the employee ID. Okay, that will be the employee ID, then the concrete, and there is actually the finish, and then that is our pay slip. Perfect. Okay, friends, so that's all we have to do. So now I want to create this route. That is the employee monthly salary pay slip. I copy it. Now go to our view, into the view area. I copy new one and I paste it. Okay, so that will be our employee monthly salary pay slip. I copy this one, and that will be the employee monthly salary pay slip. Monthly salary, I make it as a pay slip. That means in our monthly salary controller, I want to create one of the method as a monthly salary pay slip. Okay, I name it as a pay slip. Perfect. Now we have to create this method. Now copy this method. Now in our monthly salary here, after that I return response JSON, right? So now I actually create it, and then it will be show some of the error as a public, and then function, and then our method name. So that will be our method, and into this method also here we have to pass that request and the dollar request. Okay, request and dollar request. So friend, that's all. I will do the things later for display that pay slip with the PDF format. So right now, if everything okay, now it should be get all the data and return respond to the JSON with the HTML format, right? So now it should be pass this data, and in our monthly salary view here, now I get all the data. I get this data with this JSON format data. So now it should be get this all that HTML data, and now it now should be visible. It now should be visible in our this table, right? So here we are using handlebar JS code. So now it should be display all that our TS source, all that our TD source. Okay, now let's check this out. If you now click as a save all, and also here I get this data with the year or the month. Okay, so now if you click as a save all, and now if you go there, click as a refresh. So now I want to find out that employee details. So I now select as a this month, because that is actually not the date wise. It should be get that as a month wise or the year wise. Okay, so now if you click as a third, and now click as a search, now it's not working. Maybe they have some of the issues. Don't worry, we will solve it. The inspect, if you go to that network, into the network, if you select this date, click as a search, you can see there are some of the error. So now if you open it, so now it's showing in our monthly salary controller, they have the undefined variable as a V. So I understand, because I have also changed it as a attendance. So where actually I'm using that V, like here I changed it before I have used that V, right? So now I'm using as a attendance. You can see that with this V I am using this. So here also we have to update. That will be obviously that attendance. That will be obviously the attendance. Okay, so that is actually the two. So with this attendance, that is our user name, user salary should be visible. So here maybe that is actually the error. Now let's check this out. If you now click as a save all, and now I want to check it again, click as a refresh. Okay, but I close it, I refresh it again, and now I select one of the date, and now click as the inspect, and I go to that network. Okay, into the network, if you now click as a search, yeah, you can see they have no error. Yes, every is perfectly getting all the data. Okay, and you can see it's perfectly getting all the data. That means all that employees name is visible, basic salary is visible, and salary of this month is visible. You can see, friend, it's automatically minus that absent. That means Hassan for this month, maybe they have some of the absent, automatically it's minus this absent amount, and now that is our total net salary for this month for this employee. I hope it's very much clear to you, friend. So like this one, that means this user, they have no leave. Okay, so for the reasons you can see, it's now perfect. So that is our Hassan, that is a test user. Into the test user, that is actually they have some of the leaves. If you want to check it, if you go to that employee attendance, into the employee attendance, now I want to check these details. So that is our like as a 3. Okay, that means the 3rd November. That means the 3rd December. If you open it, that is actually the present. You can see there is a present for some of the user, and they have some of the absent. So they have some of the absent for this user. Okay, so perfect. So everything is great. So now if you search with the another one, I click as a refresh. Right now we don't need this. I want to search with the another one. So right now I take everything into the December. If you search with the November, maybe into the November I didn't take any attendance. You click as a search, you can see it's now totally empty. But if you now go to our attendance again, I want to take one of the attendance for the November. Click as a add attendance. Okay, and take one of the attendance as a November. Okay, November 3. So this step up on the take, or November 5. Okay, for the November 5 I want to take one of the attendance, so that is our present. Like for the Hassan I make it as a present, for the test user I make it as a absent. Okay, so automatically now it will be reduce that amount. So now everyone is a present. Now click as a submit. Yeah, our employee attendance successfully. So now let's check this out. If you now go there, click as a refresh. So now I want to get this information. I want to get that as a November. Okay, if you select it, automatically it will be get that as a year by or the month by, right? So now I select it and now click as a search. Perfect. You can see everyone is the same. Only the test user is minus that one. Okay, so perfect. So that means our calculation is great and everyone is a present. So our net profit, they have the no minus option. Everything is just like that same. Okay friend, so now we successfully complete this part. Now I want to click as a free slip. If you click as a free slip, then it will be loaded one of the PDF. So how can do that work? In our next video I will show you that things with the live example. So thanks for watching and I will see you in the next video.